Hi guys, so this is either a complete misunderstanding by me or it's the stupidest idea to come out of Liz Truss's government since they thought it would be a good idea to say that they were going to cut the top rate of tax without having it costed. So Jacob Rees-Mogg is now the business secretary and he has come up with some wacky ideas for both his department and for the country. One is so stupid, well, let's hear from Chris Philp who'll explain what it is. Have a listen.
We're going to be reducing business regulation. Jacob Rees-Mogg has a whole load of ideas to do that, one of which is making sure that no business under 500 employees gets subject to business regulation. Another critically important move. Jacob's going to lay out a whole load more ideas in that area.
What? This has to be absolute insanity. This can't be real. Now, I'll get to in a moment why I don't think this is just red meat to the base, to the red meat to the Tory base. There's actually a bit more behind this. But let's take what he just said for a moment. He said Jacob Rees-Mogg is going to reduce business regulations. Okay, that's fine. I don't agree with that because we should actually be strengthening regulations, improving them, increasing them, protecting workers, protecting the environment, protecting consumers. Should actually be increasing regulation, not reducing it. But the second part, he said, was that it would be eliminated for businesses who have less than 500 employees. Now, as far as I know, the vast majority of businesses in Britain have less than 500 employees. Now, just think about it for a moment. No business regulation. Not reduced, eliminated. So, for example, employment regulation. That would be gone. So businesses could hire as they please, but also fire as they please. So you could go into your business tomorrow, your place of work tomorrow, and your boss says, I don't like the color of your shoes, you're gone. But what about my rights? You have no rights. Jacob Rees-Mogg removed those. I don't, the boss could have gotten out the wrong side of the bed that morning and said, I'm going to lay off 5 or 50 people. And you have no protections because Jacob Rees-Mogg got rid of those. What about taxes? Will these businesses pay taxes? If not, this is a big problem for the exchequer. Or if they do and there are no regulations, well, then how are you going to check whether the business has paid enough tax or paid any tax? This is insane. What about product safety or compliance? Like if you want to sell your products into the EU, for example, if there are no rules, then you're not going to be able to sell them. Environmental protections, for example, this will allow companies just to pump raw sewage. Well, that's already happening, but it'll be able to allow companies to pump chemicals into rivers and waterways to save money, and there'll be no punishment because the government will say, well, you're free to do it because there are no regulations. As long as your company is less than 500 employees, you can do whatever the hell you want. Just think about it for a moment. Businesses that need drivers, qualified staff, well, they'll be able to just throw anyone in there. For example, anyone could be driving a heavy goods vehicle because, well, as long as the business has less than 500 employees, they can do whatever the hell they want. Planning regulation would be out the window. You would have skyscrapers in the middle of villages or towns. This doesn't make any sense. Now, as I said at the beginning, this is not just red meat to the Tory base. Why am I saying that? Because look who is actually presenting this. It's the Taxpayers Alliance and the IEA. Now, there's another group there. I don't know who they are. But we're talking about right-wing think tanks who are basically telling Liz Truss what to do. And they have policies that they want the Tories to push through. For example, the privatisation of the NHS, the elimination of worker protections, environmental protections. So they're in the driving seat at the moment. They are the ones dictating policy. And Liz Truss is just going along for the ride. This is not about the Tory base. This is not about growing the economy. This is about pushing through legislation, pushing through policies that benefit these think tanks. And these think tanks are, of course, backed by opaque money. That's the best word I can come up with. We don't know we don't fully know who backs them, who funds them. But you can be sure it's about eliminating protections for workers and the environment so that some businesses can maximize profit. It's about funneling money from the government into the coffers of these private companies. It's about the privatization of the railways, the NHS, and other government run institutions, or whatever's left of them. It's all about reducing the size of government, and government's only role is to funnel money into the private sector. So these are the people who are in charge now. And this is one of their plans, to eliminate business regulation for companies with less than 500 employees. Is this sensible? Of course it's not. But these are the people who are pushing it. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.